Hey, what's going on, Laker fans? D-Mac here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. I'm going to tell you how the Lakers can pull off a trade for Ben Simmons in just a second. But a quick reminder for all the latest Lakers news and rumors, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if you want to see us post even more Lakers content, smash that like button. Really helps out the channel. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. If you were the Lakers, would you trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons? Would you trade Anthony Davis for Ben Simmons? And for all latest Lakers news, head over to alllakers.com. So we've got a huge rumor to get into, and that is that the Lakers are rumored to be interested in trading for Ben Simmons. NBA insider Shams Charania wrote in his latest piece for The Athletic the latest on Ben Simmons. The 76ers are ramping up their efforts to spark multi-team trade scenarios to move Simmons, sources said, and a fresh pool of teams has emerged as potential destinations. The New York Knicks, Los Angeles Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Portland Trail Blazers, Sacramento Kings, Indiana Pacers, and Cleveland Cavaliers are among the teams interested in Simmons, sources said, although it's unclear how much traction Philadelphia truly has on any move. So there's a couple ways you can look at this. Just first, look at the article itself. Who are the two teams that were listed first? The New York Knicks and the Los Angeles Lakers. Those are the two biggest markets in the NBA. The glamour franchise, the Los Angeles Lakers, you always see them linked to big names and big trades around the league. And who is Ben Simmons signed with? Yes, that is Rich Paul and Klutch Sports. And anytime you attach a player to the Los Angeles Lakers, that drives up the price, that drives up the clicks. It's great for business. So there's that aspect. But how could the Lakers actually execute a trade for Ben Simmons? Well, first and foremost, you have to look at the money. And Ben Simmons is owed $33 million this year. He won't be a free agent until the end of the 2024-2025 season. So the Lakers would have to get close to matching that $33 million salary. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be in the vicinity. Now, the next question is, what assets do the Lakers have that they can get a deal done? Well, first and foremost, you have LeBron James. And he, of course, signed that 2-year, $85 million deal. He's getting $41 million this year and over $44 million the next year. But guess what? They're not going to be trading LeBron James. He just won the Player of the Week for like the 5,000th time in his career. He looks fantastic. So, no, it's not even worth talking about it. LeBron James is not getting traded, especially for a player like Ben Simmons. Now, what's your next option? You could trade Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis signed a 5-year, $190 million contract in 2020. That takes him up into his 2024-2025 season. When it comes to the financials, that would make sense, but they're not going to trade Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, still one of the best players in the league. He helped lead the Lakers to a championship in 2020. They worked so hard to get Anthony Davis, trading away Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart and Lonzo Ball to get him from the Pelicans. No, they will not be trading Anthony Davis. Plus, can you imagine that? A big three of Ben Simmons, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron James. Ben Simmons will break Steph Curry's three-point shooting record, and LeBron James will go Christmas caroling with Enes Kanter before that ever happens. So that isn't an option. And then there's option number 3, and that's the Lakers trading Russell Westbrook to the 76ers in exchange for Ben Simmons and another player, because you would have to include another guy if you're the Sixers to get that deal done. Now, would the Sixers do this deal? I think it's highly unlikely. It is more realistic than the Lakers trading away Anthony Davis or LeBron James, but if you're the Sixers, there has to be other suitors out there. Teams like the Portland Trail Blazers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, teams that have better assets. Look, another thing, too, is the Lakers don't have any first-round picks until 2026 and 2027, so that is not going to help get the deal done. Now, if you are Daryl Morey, I do think there is one thing to consider in this deal. If you are able to trade Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey to the Lakers for Russell Westbrook, and you pair him with Joel Embiid, yes, they haven't gotten along together, but hey, they could bury the hatchet for a nice postseason run, and you still have Seth Curry, you still have Danny Green, you have Tobias Harris. That is a team that really is better suited for Russell Westbrook because there's better shooters around him, there's better defenders around him. So if you are the Philadelphia 76ers, this could make sense if A, you can't land any of these other players that have been included in trade rumors over the last few seasons. Guys like Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard or other players that are younger, that are in their prime, that have more years on their current deal. That makes sense because, look, if you're the Sixers, you got Ben Simmons to sign that extension. You do want to get a player in return unless you're looking to shed salary. And if that's the case, you get Russell Westbrook for the rest of this season, and then next season you have a $47 million contract he can opt into. Maybe you can negotiate a buyout. Maybe you can trade him in the offseason. That's possible as well. And then there's the other scenario where you strike out on all those other guys, and it comes down to either Ben Simmons not playing with the Sixers this year at all, or you shipping him to the Lakers and getting Russell Westbrook in return. Because in the Eastern Conference, with that roster, you could make a run at an NBA Finals appearance. Who knows? The way that Joel Embiid is capable of playing, you never know. You could win a championship with that nucleus. Yes, you got Brooklyn there at the top of the East right now, but with the uncertainty of Kyrie Irving, James Harden hasn't been the same player since the new officiating has come into play. So I think that's something you would consider as well. Then also the big question is, does Daryl Morey even like Russell Westbrook as a player? Because he traded for him once when he was the GM in Houston, and no one likes to talk about it, but his year in Houston before he had the quad injury was the most efficient year of his career. In 2019-2020, at age 31, he made the All-Star team. He averaged 27.2 points per game, 7 assists, 7.9 rebounds, but most importantly, on 47% shooting and three-point shooting, 25% on 3.7 attempts per game. But towards the end, he was really limiting those attempts. So that's something maybe Daryl Morey thinks, hey, Russell Westbrook, he's a pit bull. He's not like Ben Simmons, who I don't think Ben Simmons has that Mamba mentality. To me, he doesn't have that dog. He is an elite defender. There's no question about it. But it comes down to, do you want the player who's fearless when it comes to shooting, a guy who always wants to take the big shot, versus a guy that's scared to develop a shot in the NBA? Because let's be frank about this, Ben Simmons hasn't been willing to fail in games in order to try to get his three-point shot going. And that's what Lonzo Ball did, and you're saying that paid dividends. Look, you can practice shooting three-point shots at a gym all day long. You can shoot 2,000 shots a day, but that doesn't replace in-game shooting. And that is from Kobe Bryant himself. He mentions it in his book, The Mamba Mentality. So look, Ben Simmons is still a great player at what he does. He's a very efficient player. Last year, he averaged 14.3 points per game, 6.9 assists, 7.2 rebounds, 1.6 steals, 0.6 blocks on 55% shooting. So the efficiency is there. There's no question about that. And yes, Ben Simmons really helped this team on the defensive end, and that's where they've really struggled this season. So I could talk myself into it if a deal got done, but then you also run into chemistry issues. Look, this team is trying to gel 1/3 of the way through this season, and then you really kind of reset that, and you force Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis and LeBron James and the rest of this Lakers team to try to find themselves. And then, of course, there's the fourth option where the Lakers can trade Talen Horton-Tucker and Kendrick Nunn and 8 of their minimum salary players that are left on the roster. Why would the Sixers ever consider doing that? And then also the Lakers can't even trade THT until January 15th because he signed his extension using his bird rights, and that extends the trade moratorium another month. So it's not December 15th like it is for most players that sign new deals. And I just think at the end of the day, this is a Klutch sports tactic. I think that this is a get some clicks tactic, but that is how you could execute a trade. It would have to include Russell Westbrook, Anthony Davis, or LeBron James, or THT Nunn, and 8 of the Lakers' 10 minimum salary players, and that is just not going to happen. So the Lakers' lack of assets really is going to hurt them in making a trade. But hey, if you're Ben Simmons, he grew up a Laker fan and all that cool stuff, I totally understand that. And maybe the organization is looking into it and they're doing their due diligence. And I know you heard the story about how the Lakers have spoken internally about the idea of trading Russell Westbrook. But hey, it's the Lakers. It sells. It gets clicks. And to me, it's nothing more than that at this point. I think that, look, that's just how it's going to be. There is going to be some more realistic trades that the Lakers can execute, and we're going to be discussing those in another video. But let me know down below in the comment section, if you're the Lakers, would you trade Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons? Would you consider trading Anthony Davis for Ben Simmons? And what do you think the odds are that a trade gets done? Give me a percentage chance down below in the comment section. My name is D-Mac. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Laker basketball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Lakers content, smash that like button. And until next time, go Lakers!